none other than Babu Owino. But it seems to be today, Raila Odinga decided that Tim Wanyonyi shall will be the candidate for the ODM. But if I was Babu Owino, I would say I'd be concerned but not worried. Listen to me. I'd be concerned but not worried, okay? Because this endorsement was kind of half-ass, okay? It wasn't like a full endorsement. It wasn't like, okay, Tim Wanyonyi is going to be the main guy. But he actually said that, you know. Raila actually spoke on why did they settle for Igathi. That's what's his name? The son of that billionaire. I forgot his name. That billionaire that passed away. I forgot his name. But anyway, Igathi was the candidate that was chosen by Kenyatta. Remember, in 2017, the last elections, the gubernatorial seat, they compromised. Raila sat with Kenyatta, and he said in that speech, he mentioned that Uhuru told him to settle for Igathi. Okay, so Igathi ran against Sakaja, and of course, Sakaja washed the floor with him. So even Raila said, you know, that was the wrong choice, and that's why they lost that seat. And he said that he asked Tim Wanyonyi, who was the ODM candidate for Nairobi, to step down, and even ask him if he can run for, to be the deputy governor. But Wanyonyi said, no, I'm not okay with it, but I'm willing to sit back and let Igathi be the candidate. And he did. Igathi lost the election to Sakaja, and Sakaja is now the governor, okay? So the funny thing is that Raila, when he was endorsing Tim Wanyonyi, he kept on saying that, aliokoka haitaji injili, which probably saying someone who's saved does not need, it was an obvious thing that Tim Wanyonyi was going to stand. I thought it was a very funny endorsement. It wasn't like a full endorsement, but okay, as he put it, what is obvious does not need to be substantiated, in other words. But it's an important speech by Raila Odinga because it kind of gives us his train of thought. He mentioned that the priority now is to register as many ODM young folks, people who are turning 18, to register as voters, register young folks to the party, and also he mentioned that people should not worry so much about politics in the next 2027 elections because we are still far away. We should focus on, doing your duty as elected officials, which is his right. But let me just play this speech by Raila Odinga, then I'll come back and speak my mind, what I think, because there's a lot in this that we can say, and I will also mention what does this endorsement of Raila Odinga, endorsement by Raila Odinga, endorsing Tim Wanyonyi for Nairobi governorship, gubernatorial candidature, what does that mean to Babu Owino? What happens? Does that mean that Raila Odinga does not trust Babu Owino? Is there a fallout between Raila Odinga and Babu Owino? Did he ask Babu Owino to sit back, not run for governor in 2027? We'll find out. But let me play this speech so we can hear from the horse's mouth. He walks us through. Remember yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, where I made this point. If you look at my previous live, just go down my timeline in X, you can see, or if you're following on YouTube, you can see my latest live. I was asking this question. I posed this question. How popular is the ODM party outside of Nyanza province? Okay. And I mentioned the voting block in Nairobi. Because, let's face it, in Kenya, you only win according to the tribal voting blocks that are aligned to your own tribe. It comes down to that. It's all about numbers and the tribal alignments that help you vote you in a certain constituency that you're running, okay, or you're vying your seat in, all right? And Raila seems to be answering this question. So he kind of walks us through how ODM became dominant in Nairobi, okay? Because in his words, he say that Nairobi used to be, mostly central province guys, Kikuyus and Kambas and non-Westerners, like the people from Western Kenya, whether it's Nyanza or Western Kenya, were not really a factor in Nairobi until him and Fred Gumo vied in Nairobi and actually changed the voting dynamics in Nairobi constituency, Nairobi province in general, okay? Nairobi elections, okay? So I'll play that, and I think it's important to help you understand, the politics of Nairobi and how people vote, all right? So hang in there. Let's just watch this speech by Raila Odinga. Then we shall, we shall take it from there, okay? But just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades. So here's Raila Odinga. Let's see. Okay, if my computer can work here, that would be great. Okay, that's good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to Raila Odinga, and I'll be right back. Let's see.
Siasa kali ilianza Nairobi hapa 1992. Baada ya multi-party kurudi hapa. 1992 hapa Nairobi kulikuwa ile upepo mkali ya Ford asili. Ilifagia Nairobi yote. Mimi peke yangu ndio nilichaguliwa kule Lang'ata, na hapa Westland kulikuwa mhindi mmoja anaitwa Amin Walji. Haya yote yalienda na Matiba. Na Matiba hakuamini ya kwamba mimi nilishinda kule Lang'ata.
Here's one thing you need to do before buying anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch.
All right, Babu.
Sasa manake yote ilikuwa ni Ford asili. Na kule Makadara ndio kaingia bwana Mutere. Mutere aliingia na Ford asili. Lakini mimi niliingia na Ford Kenya peke yangu. Baada ya muda mfupi huyo Amin Walji akafariki. Alafu sasa kukawa na by election. Fred Gumo akaja hapa. Lakini Gumo akashinda akachaguliwa. Tukawa sasa wawili, mimi na Gumo, kutoka ngambo hili huku chini hapa Nairobi. Tukaanza kupanga siasa ya Nairobi hapa. Tukasema Nairobi ndio makao makuu ya Kenya. Na sio sawa watu wengine kusema hii Nairobi ni yetu peke yetu. Tukasema tunataka kuangalia kule upande ya councillors na upande ya wabunge. Tukapanga kwanza ni watu kujisajili kama wapigaji kura. Tulikuwa na watu wengi, lakini wengi wao walikuwa hawana kura. Tukapanga vile kura inachukuliwa hapa Nairobi. Sasa tukamwambia Gumo, hapa Lang'ata mimi niko na watu wengi hapa. Niko na Waluhya wengi hapa Kibera. Chukua hawa Waluhya wapeleke Westlands. Manake walikuwa wanamtisha yeye. Nikatoa wale wamekuja kutoka Westland wamejisajili hapa kule Lang'ata, Kibra. Sasa hili tunaenda kwa uchaguzi, wao wanasimamisha Mluhya aje mang'ana mimi kule Lang'ata. Akiingia Kibera anaenda kule Soweto. Wale wako wengi sana. Kuna Sukuti huko. Wanatoa pesa mingi sana. Ajia kwamba kura hiyo hakuna hapo, kura hapo. Anang'ang'ana hapo, lakini kura pale iko wapi? Westlands. Wakati kura inapigwa hakuna kura kwake.
So here he's basically explaining how him and Fred Gumo, if you guys remember Fred Gumo, great lawyer leader of the yesteryears, how they hashed this plan of how he helped the lawyers that were staying in Kibera to help his friend Gumo, so he would send them to Westlands to vote for Fred Gumo, okay, because Fred Gumo was kind of struggling as far as voting is concerned. So Raila told Fred Gumo, hey, I have a bunch of lawyers in my constituency here in Langata, here in Kibera. I can actually send him over there to help you, help vote for you so you can win your elections. So he's basically explaining to us how lawyers and Luos and Kisis and people from, Ushago Uko came to Nairobi, and how him and Gumo hatched this plan and engineered this voting block, lawyer and Luo voting block, okay? So let's go ahead and listen.
Sasa tukaenda 97 tukaongeza kiti kule Kasarani tukapata. Kulikuwa tumepata Madhare wakati ile na bwana Masinde, lakini Masinde baadaye alikufa siku ile ya kupiga kura kwa ajali, na baada yake kukufa tukakwenda kwa by election tukawa tuchimbe huko. Baadaye tukaongeza mwingine huko wakati wa 97. Ikifika sasa 2002 tukaongeza zingine. Ikifika 2007 hapa Nairobi kulikuwa viti 8 wakati huo, tulichukua 6, wakachukua 2 peke yake, ndio ngambo ile nyingine, kwa sababu tulikuwa tunaunganisha kura yote ya watu wetu pamoja, Waluhya, Wajaluo, Wakisii, hata Wakamba, naweka pamoja. Hiyo ndio nini? Umoja ni nini? Utengano ni.
Notice how he said he gathered around all the tribes, Luos, Luhyas, Kisii, and Wakamba, and he wanted to say Kikuyus, but he was like, no, because because Kikuyus were the ones who were dominating in Nairobi before him and Fred Gumo got there, and Masinde Muliro, started dominating, making inroads in Nairobi province. Okay, so let's listen in.
Sasa ikifika sasa hii ya mwisho hii, viti ziliongezwa sasa, ziko 17. 17, Azimio ziko na 14 tulishinda. 3 peke yake nilienda pandeli ya Kinyakwisha. Mbona hiyo? Maana yake tulikuwa tunatumia akili ya kufanya haya. Ndio sababu sisi tumesema mpaka tuunganishe watu wetu pamoja. Kitu muhimu zaidi sio kusema tunataka kuweka fulani pale. Muhimu kwanza tuwe na silaha ya kuweka yeye pale. Tukiwa na silaha, kila kitu ni rahisi sana. Inakuwa rahisi sana. Tukiwa na silaha tisi tunashinda. Mliona ile iliyopita ile mimi nilipata kura 900. Uhuru akapata 500. Hii ya juzi hii nimepata 800 na kitu. Ruto akapata 500. Sivyo? Gavana hatukupata, sio kwa sababu hatukuwa na watu, lakini candidate tulikuwa naye ndio haikuwa sawa. Ni sababu maana yake kama sisi tumeshinda ni senator, tumeshinda women rep, tumeshinda president, tunashindwaje kwa nini kiti ya governor? Hatungeweza kushindwa, tungeshinda kwa mbali sana. Na mimi mwenyewe ninajuta kwa sababu mimi ndio niliambiwa niambie timu Awache.
So you heard it from the horse's mouth. So he said there was no way ODM was going to lose in Nairobi because they won the women rep position, they won the Senate position seat, and definitely they were going to win the seat of the governorship, gubernatorial seat. But again, the candidate that was flawed there was the one that let him down, because he takes responsibility by saying he listened to Uhuru Kenyatta. He was told to ask his candidate to sit out so that they can floor Jubilee's candidate. Because remember, in 2017 is when the handshake came in and there was this, Azimio nonsense that was formed then. So he compromised with Uhuru Kenyatta and asked Tim Wanyonyi to sit out from the race so that Igathe can run against Sakaja. And that's why ODM lost. In his view, he feels like if Wanyonyi was to run as the governor, if Wanyonyi was the candidate, they could have also won the gubernatorial seat for Nairobi. But let's go on.
Na team akamu
Sorry, this is a commercial.
Akakubali. Kwanza tulikuwa nasema awe running mate, lakini baadaye akaniambia hapana. Nimefikiria hii maneno nikasema hapana, mimi nitarudi Westland. Nikubalia mimi nirudi wapi? Yakarudi Westland. Sasa yeye amerudi Westland, lakini sisi tunaangalia mbele huko. Sasa unajua ambaye aliokoka hahitaji nini? Injili. Aliokoka hahitaji injili. Mnakuja kunihubiria injili ati weke timu huko. Hii ni kazi bure sana.
So what he means here, for those of you who are slow, when he's saying aliokoka hahitaji injili, meaning somebody who is saved does not need the gospel. In other words, same thing as saying what is obvious does not need to be substantiated. You guys who keep on bothering him, hey, put Tim in the gubernatorial seat for 2027. Put Tim in the gubernatorial seat for 2027. I don't have to do so. That's like, it's an obvious thing. Tim will be the guy for the 2027 gubernatorial candidature in Nairobi, okay, for the ODM ticket, okay? And the question that I'll pose later after I play this whole clip, we're halfway through, we'll be done. After this, where does that leave Babu Owino? But let's listen in.
Mimi najua mambo ya timu. Mimi nasema tuangalie mbele, kile mimi nataka kwanza vitu viwili. Nataka watu vijana wetu ambao wamehitimu umri ya miaka 18 wawe na vitambulisho na waende wachukue nini? Waende wachukue kura. Tunataka kuzidisha idadi ya watu wetu ambao watachukua kura. Ni kitu muhimu zaidi. Mambo ya ID tutapigana nao hapa. Kitambulisho inatakikana kila Mkenya apate bila kulipa chochote. Maana hiyo ndio inaonyesha wewe ni Mkenya. Sasa mtu anataka uende, lakini mimi naambia nyinyi sasa tutaki kuanza mambo ya kampeni mapema. Juzi nilienda kule Kisumu. Nimekuta mtu ambaye alichaguliwa kama MCA. Yeye anatangaza ati mimi nataka kuwa mbunge. Mwaka mmoja limepita hajafanya kazi kama MCA. Watu hawajaona. Nikamwambia kazi yako ya MCA nitakuuza wewe ukitaka kuwa mjumbe. Ngoja kwanza. Fanya kazi kama MCA mpaka 2006 uanze kampeni. Mwingine ni mjumbe. Hata hajaongea katika bunge, jina lake yuko kwa Hansard. Anasema nataka kuwa gavana. Nataka kuwa gavana. Wewe hujafanya kazi kama mjumbe ionekane kama wewe unaweza. Unaanza kung'ang'ania mambo ya ugavana. Kwa sababu gani? Mwingine amechaguliwa kama senator. Hajafanya chochote. Anaenda kule Ikulu, ati mimi nataka kufanya na serikali ya Kenya kwanza. Sababu nasema mimi nataka kuwa gavana. Hujafanya kazi kama senator. Sasa tunasema tukifanya namna hiyo tutaweka.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, I think you get the gist. That's basically that was his main point there. He was basically saying that the focus right now should be to register folks, to register to the party. They should register as many young people as possible. And for those politicians who are maybe eyeing the gubernatorial seat or senatorial seat for 2027, he's telling them, hold your horses, provide the services that you're elected to do, serve the people so that people can see your work. So when it comes 2027, when you run for governorship or senator, people can say you have a track record of doing something. That's basically what he's saying, that we should not focus on the next election while we are like, 4, 5, 3 years, whatever years away. I skipped through a part where he was talking about, the Form 34C and that it wasn't gazetted, and also him demanding for the audit of the servers. We've had that song before, so I didn't want to focus on that on this live. I just wanted to focus on the fact that he endorsed Team Wanyonyi, and he actually owned up to saying that he made a mistake by, listening to Uhuru Kenyatta agreeing to choose Igathi, who lost to Sakaja in 2017. So now, the question that I posed again, now that Raila Odinga has endorsed Team Wanyonyi for 2027 gubernatorial seat for Nairobi, where does this leave Babu Owino? Okay? One thing I would say is this. I think this is a grave mistake by Raila Odinga. I'll tell you why it's a mistake. If, and I say if, there's a buzz out here, okay? We all know that. Everywhere Babu Owino goes, everyone is saying, hey, Babu Owino is the next governor. Hey, Babu is the next governor. Like, he has the buzz. The people want him to run for governorship, okay? In Nairobi. So, later on, let's say when we are reaching 2027, if Raila decides to endorse Babu Owino and, akimruka Team Wanyonyi, remember, he just endorsed him. If he changes his mind and later endorses Babu Owino because the people want Babu Owino, that can drive the loyal votes from the ODM. Because most of them will be like, hey, listen, we remember when you endorsed Wanyonyi. You betrayed Wanyonyi. In 2023, you endorsed Wanyonyi. In 2017, you asked him to wait and sit out so that Igathi can run against Sakaja. Now in 2027, you're endorsing Babu Owino and unamruka Team Wanyonyi tena. Okay? The loyal voting bloc will not be happy with this, and they will not hesitate to go vote for Sakaja. Remember, Sakaja is a lawyer. So that's the danger that he's running against. Because remember, again, on the ground, there's a buzz. The people are looking at Babu Owino as the next governor of Nairobi. But here is Raila saying that Team Wanyonyi is his guy. That's the next candidate for ODM. So in the event that Raila chooses to change his mind and endorses Babu Owino for gubernatorial seat, the loyal voting bloc, who are huge, make up a huge number of ODM, will jump ship and might as well just re-elect Sakaja. That's the number one danger that he risks. Now, If he sticks to Team Wanyonyi, where does that leave Babu Owino? Will Babu Owino be okay with remaining the MP for Embakasi East? Will he run for re-election for that? Is he okay with that? And what if Babu Owino decides, no, I don't care. Raila chose Raila chose Team Wanyonyi, but I will go ahead and run as governor regardless of who Raila endorses. What happens there? Is it going to divide or cause tension within the ODM party? Because remember, again, Babu has a huge buzz. Most people within the ODM, at least, are saying that Babu Owino, if there's any leader that can be a Luo kingpin after Raila Odinga, most likely it's going to be Babu Owino. That's what they're saying. I don't know if that's true, but that's the buzz that people are talking about. They're saying if there's anyone who has much influence within ODM, anyone who's close to, anywhere close, he's not close, but anyone close who commands a lot of support from Nyanza province, it is Babu Owino. So how will the Nyanza people feel if Babu Owino is not endorsed by Raila Odinga come 2027? That's why I mentioned this. This was a half-ass endorsement. It wasn't full endorsement. Raila was very careful with his words. Very careful. Let me explain what I mean. Let me explain what I mean. Listen to me. If you go listen to that speech, I was going to play the whole of it, but it's kind of long. It's like 20 minutes long, and I don't want to stay here for too long. Okay? Raila Odinga, instead of coming out and outrightly saying, Team Wanyonyi is the candidate for ODM in 2027 gubernatorial seat of Nairobi, what did Raila do? He chose to use the words, the phrase, mwenye ameokoka hahitaji injili. Okay? In a way, indirectly endorsing Wanyonyi without endorsing him officially. You understand what I'm saying? Instead of just being outright and say, I endorse him, he just used that phrase. Okay? That way, it gives him a leeway to say that, you know what? I didn't actually endorse him. I just supported him for that seat. But really, my real choice is Babu Owino. That's why, after he mentioned that same, when you guys were, after he said, notice what he said. He said that after he mentioned the thing about Wanyonyi and how Wanyonyi was asked to step down for Igapi can be whatever. After he mentioned that, listen, notice how he pivoted away from that conversation and started asking the people to focus on registering voters, the young voters. Okay, he didn't want to dwell on that. He quickly went to, let's focus on registering a lot of people. Then he gave an example of, 2027 is too bado iko mbali. Let's focus on this and this and this and that, which is right, but is also taking away the focus from what he actually did, which is indirectly kind of endorsing Wanyonyi in a very, like Kimpango, si ati ile wholeheartedly. He didn't wholeheartedly endorse Team Wanyonyi. He kind of, this is my guy. He's from Westlands. He'll be the one standing next time, and I'm sure he will win. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on registering people. And then he gave an example of the politicians who haven't really achieved much and are already looking at 2027. Okay? He didn't want to dwell on Wanyonyi because he knows in 2027, he might endorse Babu Owino later. See what I'm saying? Tell me if you agree or not. Did you read it the same way I did, or am I just imagining things? Okay? Anyway, it's been 30 minutes. I was trying to only stay there for 30 minutes. If it's 30 minutes, this is Kenya Revolutionary. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades, tell me in the comment section, do you see things the way I saw it, or am I just imagining things? Your stories are jabba. Yeah? This is Kenya Revolutionary. Please, wait, you who you're watching, go ahead and follow me for more. I'll go live again in 2 hours or an hour, okay? And I'll be bringing another topic. So please follow me on X. If you're watching, if you just watch this video, if you see this face, just follow that follow button. Follow me on X. Enda kwa YouTube, fuatilia hapo, subscribe, usiharibu wakati. Go ahead. I'll bring you in the studio so we can discuss this, okay? Subscribe, like, share, comment. Tell me what you think. You think this is Raila Odinga will stick to Team Wanyonyi for 2027 gubernatorial seat, okay? Or will he change his mind and vote for and endorse Babu Owino? You tell me what you think. Comments, and I'll see you in 2 hours, okay? Peace and blessing, and I'll talk to you guys later.